The first and foremost thing came to creating the box and finding the box. And how do I do that? So I know that I wanted a box that would be sustainable. I know that not because I'm necessarily some radical, hardcore environmentalist, because I'm not, but because I thought that if I really want something to have a relationship with somebody, something, and a product, I needed it to be that the product itself would not be disposable. So that meant that even the box wouldn't be disposable. That's why on Bella Una you'll find no front branding. All of the branding takes place on the back. So the space that exists right here on the back label is so that on the additional boxes that exist, they will all be limited edition. So on the pink box, which is the next one coming out, it will be limited edition. So this space exists so that I can hand stamp, like an old vintage Italian love letter, the stamp saying who it's to and who it's from will be in that space. So it's even thinking more long-ended. You have to look at the whole picture of your brand, of how you fundamentally see your brand as a whole. So I knew that for me, my mother always said that everyone is beautiful, each one of us, in our entirety and our completeness. So for me, the reason why on the bottle I chose to do one singular flower is because you give a girl a flower, one flower, and she's satisfied. She feels like you've given her something wonderful and special and something meaningful. You don't necessarily need to give a lot. It's just the intention of what you give. So fundamentally going back down to the tie of beautiful one singular flower, one singular experience, one single love letter written from one person to another. So on that, on the signature scent represents my mother. It represents my experience with my mother, my time with my mother, what she stood for, what she stands for as a human being. So I knew where the notes had to come from, were the kitchen. My mother's a gourmet chef and she's this incredible chef. So I knew the top notes of the fragrance had to have things that represent the kitchen. So for me, when I first made the fragrance, I ground up all the spices, I ground up all of the different juices, all of the things that you see in front of you. The vanilla, which is a high note, the pepper, the pink pepper is a high note. So the green tea is a high note. And I ground them all up and then I put them with citrus, I put them with red wine, and I FedEx them to my fragrance house because it wasn't a stable essential oil fragrance. It was a raw fragrance so that the perfumer there could see where I was eventually going, where I wanted it to be taken. The next step for me is the fact that they all had to have love letters inside of them. So the love letter in the Bella Una, the one that I will have you go around and you can smell, is it's not written directly to anyone and it's not signed by anyone. So this particular love letter says, I just needed to tell you that you have always made me feel loved. All the times you stood in the kitchen making our favorites. It is these thoughts that came to mind as I created this perfume. The vanilla makes me think of the sweets and the treats and your idea of having dessert first, for it's important to love what you love the most. The pepper makes me warm as I look back on all the special dinners you made for us. Lastly, the tea brings a smile to my face. All the tea parties you had for my friends, both real and imaginary. Thank you for fostering me to dream big, to always allow my creativity to shout out from the inside of me, and for being the first person to tell me I am beautiful. So if you smell Bella Una, I have ribbons here, so I tie it down even to the fact that I don't have you spray Bella Una on a piece of paper. I have you spray it on the ribbon because that's the way we used to share our experiences. So to have that fundamental go back down to the necessity of where we are, I bring it all the way to there. When you receive the marketing for Bella Una, it comes in a wedding invitation. So it comes folded as if you've just been asked to experience something. If you look at the top, it has the love letter and then it has a picture of my mother from the 70s that it has the same golds in it that are represented on the bottle. On the teacup, this teacup is mine from when I was little, and this teacup is represented on the ring of how it comes. So I take things that exist in basic nature of our existence